Hello, hello, and welcome to the Digestion Codes Masterclass. I'm Leslie Urbis. I'm a registered dietitian and a personal trainer, and this call will go probably about 45 minutes. If you're doing other things, it's totally okay to multitask. I will be having some slides, so please feel free to pay attention to those if you'd like to see them, but also get ready for the most action-packed, amazing hour that you're ever going to have to really uncover and understand the inside of you. So I am going to share my screen here. I am going to pop up the slideshow and I am ready to go. So just like I said, welcome to the Digestion Codes Masterclass. In this class, you are finally going to uncover how to have the life, how to have the health, how to have the body without shame, without guilt, without sacrifice, just you fully living free. So welcome in. Please feel free, share in the chat. If you're watching later, please feel free to message me when you're done. Let me know how you were feeling in the beginning, and then I love to find out how you are feeling in the end. So grab your pen, grab your paper. This is going to be the beginning of the life you've always wanted, inside the body you've always wanted. No more back and forth, no more gives or takes. Instead, just you living free. So I want to get to the nitty gritty. Are you in the right place? Like, are you watching the right masterclass? Your time is valuable. My time is valuable. Everyone's time is valuable. Let's find out if you're in the right place. So you are truly in the right place if you want to know more about your body, the inside of your body, like how it works, what's going on the inside, and if you want to claim your health for you right now. If you're a professional or an elite professional who wants to end the struggle with health for good. You want to put a nail in the coffin, shut it up, no longer be spending your time on Google, just enjoying your life. Maybe recently you've had something diagnosed that you don't really know what's happening, like you've got this autoimmune disease later in life, maybe even suffered some hormone issues, like you're not really quite sure what's been going on, but there's something new in your life. You no longer want to age without grace. You want to enjoy aging. You want to dye your hair pink like I just did today. You want to truly live your life. Go for it. If you're beyond stress and have no idea how to help yourself, if you're like, oh my gosh, I can't Google one more thing. I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. I just give up. You're in the right boat. If you're ready to end generational health issues, if you're ready to conquer the rules that your parents and other people put into place about how you have to live your life, you're in the right spot. If you don't get good regular sleep, you're in the right spot. If you feel a lack of energy a lot, like I am tired all the time, I just want to sleep all the time, I don't feel like doing this, you're in the right place. If you've tried all the things and yet nothing's clicking, in fact, you could probably rattle off to me at least 10 or 15 things that you've done in the recent past and it's not happening. If you're ready to show your family and your children what true health really is, you're in the right spot. If you have tried changing your diet, your meal plans, your exercise routine multiple times in the past 10 years, you are in the right place. If you're finally ready to claim your health and the body and the life that you want without sacrifice, shame, or guilt, you are in the right place. But if a small part of you is like, but I want to be perfect while I kind of do it, you're in the right place. Or maybe you're like, but what if that shame pops up again because I accidentally eat that thing I'm not supposed to eat? You're in the right place. And if you just feel like right now you're a selfless overachiever who's blindly doing all the things, you will successfully get a lot out of this class because you must be fully ready to wholly embrace and accept yourself as you are. Wholly embrace and accept yourself as you are right now. So what to expect from this masterclass? First of all, we're going to discuss how to override the genetics and programming that we've had. You're going to understand why wholeness health is the missing piece to the digestion code, and your personal digestion code is the missing piece to you. Sorry about that. What is a digestion code anyways? How true wellness is really not what you're doing on the outside, but it depends on what you're doing on the inside to regulate your nervous system and internal health, and how to use your unique digestion code to enjoy life without travel, or with travel, without issues, without pain, without weight gain or health worries, just you enjoying your life with all the things. Now, I'm going to be upfront. There is going to be a chance at the very end of this to work with me in the future. So I'm letting you know to be prepared that I'm going to ask you to join us to do something. And if you have a problem with that, please feel free to state it in the chat while I drink some water. Crickets. I hear no one. That's fabulous. So what that means is we're all ready to dive in. So I want you to ask yourself a question as we start this webinar. Are you ready to leave behind the lies and the fear that we were taught and finally step into your personal truth? Are you ready to ditch the lies and the fear that people have instilled in you about your health, about your wealth, about your weight, about you, and finally step into your personal truth? If you are, let's dive in. I'm Leslie Urbis. Like I said, I'm a registered dietitian and a personal trainer. And I have a story just like you. First of all, I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, where I lived for 24 years of my life. I moved to Jacksonville, Florida, where I lived for 12 years of my life, starting in the United States Navy. I am now living in Rota, Spain with my husband and 2 children. I studied my nutrition at Fontbonne University, which will soon be closed, and another school called the University of North Florida, where I finished my master's degree. I have 2 children, Lily and Larry, 6 and 4 respectively, and a military husband, Ian. We got married in a hurricane. Love to share the story if you ever want to know it. My high school softball coach is really where the story starts. When I was 15 years old, I did not have a poor body image. In fact, I don't think I ever really paid attention to weight at all. But at 15, my high school softball coach told me I was too fat to play varsity softball. And less than 5 days later, a girl that sat next to me in most of my classes actually told me that I was too fat to hang out with her on the weekend. At that moment, I was actually a very normal, healthy body weight, but I no longer felt that way. I felt as though everybody was telling me that I was fat and ugly. And it was then at 15 that I accepted the identity that I am fat and ugly and really worthless. And so I became a selfless overachiever. I purposely made sure I checked every box to help other people, with nutrition and fitness being one of them. I made sure I was a star student. I made sure that I blended in. I made sure not to get in trouble. I made sure to count all of the boxes. And that led me to over 15 years of cycling shame and guilt, of pushing me into chronically dieting and even dabbling with an eating disorder in college. When I arrived at school at Fontbonne University, I realized that as a dietitian, I needed to play the part. So for 6 weeks, barely ate anything. I lost 30 pounds, which had been what I gained in high school. Even though I was a normal weight when I started, all of the dieting sent me to gain 30 pounds in high school. And I officially lost it off after I got over my eating disorder. Now, 6 weeks into the eating disorder, my cousin found me out and told my mom. And I was like, ooh, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to any of those things. So I'm out. So it was at that moment that I was like, okay, now I've lost 30 pounds. How do I keep it off? So I jumped into exercise disorder, where I worked out for 3 to 4 hours a day for the majority of my 20s, truthfully. I was the kid that if I was having fun at a party, after 2 drinks, I would literally go run a mile to come back. So that way I would know that the alcohol would not sit on my body, that I was burning it as I was consuming it. So talk about an unhealthy relationship with food, with alcohol, and with my body. It was at that moment. I'd love to say it ended there, but when I joined the Navy, after finishing my degree and becoming a dietitian, I grew an infection in my back, probably due to all the stress and not understanding what was going on inside my body. They literally have no idea, but I compressed my spine and I was on antibiotics for 6 months through a PICC line in my arm. I'd love to say that ended it, but then I developed really bad GERD, which is like acid reflux, so much to the point that I had a cyst on my vocal cords and I actually sounded like a raspy smoker. I had to have that cyst removed and I couldn't actually talk for a solid week. It was the most interesting thing. I'd love to actually go back and do that than not talking for a week. It's such an interesting journey to be on. I struggled for these 15 years. How do I put the pieces together? How do I do this without constantly having to go back and forth? It was like when things were great with my body, I was having no fun. And when things were great with my life, I wasn't happy with my body. I couldn't have both. But now I can. I have transformed from the shame and guilt and selfless overachiever. And I am personally inviting you to join me on this journey. So with this 15 years of struggling, I realized the whole process can be completely frustrating until you have these tools. So I want to talk a little bit about Kristen. She was a client that came to me. She had lost 100 pounds on her own, and she was literally drinking 2 shakes a day and having a very small meal. And she didn't know how to eat. She was like, I am scared to eat anything more. I am scared to not exercise 3 hours a day. I have no idea how to do this. I have no idea how to get out of this. But through working with me, she was able to lose the 30 more pounds she wanted to lose to be at the ideal weight she always wanted to be at. She stopped excessively exercising. She stopped eating like a bird and started to eat for herself. She's enjoyed many, many trips, and she is still at that 130 pounds down 3 years later. This is my client, Amy. Amy joined with me when she was 48 years old, and she actually contemplated going back on a diet that she did at 16. That's when she knew that she needed to uncover her personal digestion code. And Amy is now 50 years old. She's never once mentioned menopause. She's never once mentioned that these things stop her. In fact, she is 60 pounds down. She has ended all shame and guilt with food, and she feels at peace in her body. She can enjoy food. She can enjoy her life. She can do all the things. And she is losing and maintaining over the time that we've worked together. So if you'd like to have results like Amy, Kristen, or myself, let's dive further. What is a digestion code? A digestion code is the key piece that you've been missing to allow you to feel comfortable in your body at the weight that you want, to allow you to have the gut health you want, to allow you to embrace your whole self, to have the wellness that you want, to have the life and the body you want, and understanding what's actually happening on the inside of you. This code is backed fully by science, as you will see in this presentation, but uniquely put together through my expertise work with myself and with my clients. So how do you unearth your code? First of all, it's based on 3 factors. It is completely rooted in science, like I said. It's a unique combination, and it is the core piece that will help you to break through the lies and the false truths that we have accepted and finally step into our truth so we can be free from all the bonds we created with our body, mind, and soul that were out of alignment with us. So why does this work? We all have a code. It's very personal to us. It is unique, but it is our own body telling us when we eat, when we drink, when we go to the bathroom. However, we have been conditioned by the world around us to be told when to eat, when to drink, when to pee, when to poop. We have been told how to diet. We have been told that our bodies are against us. We go to a doctor to help them save us. However, it's at the moment when we feel that our body's failing us that we should start to say, God, show me the way. God is always the first person that comes into play. And if you don't like God, feel free to use universe or spirit or whatever else feels good to you. So, factor 1, who you really are. There's 3 pieces to factor 1. The first one is the purpose. What are you really here for? And what's your true food identity? Now, B is the location. Where and how do you thrive? What is truthfully my food spirit? C is uniqueness. How do you take in life, food, and things and process everything as you go? We're going to dive into these in a little bit based on client results. So hold factor 1. Factor 2 is, what does my body really need? What is my body whispering to me? See, we all have stress. You probably heard of fight, flight, or freeze, right? But what you don't know is that we are constantly in a state fight, flight, or freeze. And this constant state is causing us to lose our metabolism and losing our ability to digest food properly. Instead, our fight, flight, or freeze, our vagus nerve, this internal piece of us that regulates our internal health, was programmed by our family, and it becomes the truth that we know, but not the truth that exists. So when we're born, we are all under healthy stress, okay? We should all have a baseline, and we stress ourselves out and we come back down. And we stress ourselves out, we come back down. We stress ourselves out, we come back down. However, today, in our day of error and all of the information around us, we are no longer coming back down to the bottom. We are remaining at a high level of stress, constantly placing our body under fight, flight, or freeze. And as we're in this constant fight, flight, or freeze, our bodies are not able to metabolize. They're not able to properly digest, which leads us to developing many more health issues. We're developing, eating disorders. We're developing issues with our digestive system, IBS, other factors that come up later in life. So 100% with this. And it's truthfully what's happening on the inside. It's the subconscious piece. It's what you can't control. So something that will help you to be able to control your stress, your metabolism, and your digestion is a breathing exercise. This breathing exercise is where you take a deep breath in through your nose, and while you're breathing in through your nose, you're pushing your belly out, You will hold it for a second, and as you're exhaling, you're going to pull your belly in. Okay, so we're going to do 3 rounds. We're going to take a deep breath in, pushing our belly out and holding it out as we exhale and bring our belly in. We're going to do it again. Take a deep breath in, pushing your belly out, hold it, and exhale, pulling it back. And one more time, you're going to inhale, pushing your belly out, hold it, exhale, bringing your belly back in. And this is how to start to regulate the vagus nerve. You might feel tingling, you might feel better. What you've done is you've allowed your brain and your gut and your stress to really connect, to be able to regulate and process food and what it is that you might need in this moment. So why does this work? The stress response of fight, flight, or freeze shuts off your vagus nerve. And when that's not working, you won't metabolize properly and you won't digest properly. So you'll feel stuck there. And you'll start asking questions and you'll start Googling and you'll start going to all these things, and we'll continue to have these random health issues because we're placing the answer outside of us instead of going to, what does my personal digestion code tell me how I should eat? When you know this pieces of your digestion code, you can go to that, and internally you help yourself instead of externally. Factor 3, what is your body in need of? What is your body telling you that you can't hear because of the lies that have engulfed you around food? The energy behind the food you're eating is what's really happening with your body. Your body knows what you need, but you can't hear it because you're not understanding what the rules are for your body, what your code truthfully is, and you're following something outside of you that is not in alignment with you. Eat this, not that. Follow this diet, keto, or carnivore, or plant-based, or this is really bad for you, or the soil's depleted. And we're living in this world where we're very unsure and we're not sure how to decide, and our lack of decision is keeping us stuck. So why the energy of food works is that because, truthfully, we're not in control of how we're eating. We're still eating the way our parents taught us to, or the way the diet plan taught us to. We're still going to the bathroom and abusing ourselves. I've got to finish this email. I've got to finish this email. I've got to do one more thing. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. I'm so thirsty. I need to go to the bathroom. When you run inside, you're like, what do I do first? Eat, drink, pee, poop. What do? I don't know. Okay. Why? Because we're not actually understanding what is needed for our body, and we're shutting off the symptoms that tell us what it is that we need. And when we're not addressing these, we're going to slow down our metabolism. We're going to slow down our gut. We're going to slow down our bodies, and we're going to increase our risk for disease. We're going to increase our risk for having health issues. And unfortunately, we're going to compound our weight. So I want to talk a little bit about myself. When learning my piece, I learned that one of the biggest things I had to do was regulate stress. Everything that I wrote there was a body full of irregulated stress and a person who didn't know how to eat for herself. Another client of mine really found out that they needed to mix things together, that they were raised in a home where like everything had to be separated, like chicken, broccoli, and brown rice, instead of like throwing it together. And they do better when they concoct something and make it their own, as well as really releasing the family shame that came with eating things that were quote unquote unhealthy. They were raised in a house where sugar was bad, chocolate was bad, candy was bad, but they truthfully loved these things. So they would sneak them and eat them, and the shame and guilt compounded. And the shame and guilt from eating that food actually made it worse than if they would have just consumed the sugar without the shame and guilt. Another one is a former client who found out that they need to have foods at a certain temperature. Like my son, he does better with a freezing cold glass of water at a meal. And he will digest better, he will eat better, he will drink better, he will sleep better, all of the things. As well as this person also needed to understand how to heal the relationship with themselves, so they could be able to eat and accept a new reality for themselves about themselves and their body. So what's not knowing the code costing you? Truthfully, a lot of shame and guilt, probably extra weight, health issues, autoimmune issues, generational health issues, relationship issues, Sales in your business, money, time, fun, happiness, ease, flow, name it, it's probably costing you. So you might be asking, why is nobody talking about this then? Why is nobody talking about a digestion code? Why isn't anybody talking about what's happening inside of me? Why? Because we don't actually want you to get to the heart. We don't want you to be able to have the life in the body. We want it to be a constant struggle. That's how our world is working for us right now, right? But let me tell you that once you know your digestion code, it becomes so easy to have a clear plan for yourself so you can have your cake and eat it too. So right now, I want you to ask yourself, what's more important, staying in the lies that you've been believing and the struggle, or finally having the life and the body you want without sacrifice? Feel free to drop that in the chat as well. So now you know the 3 factors, but you might still have some questions. And I'm going to be honest, you could go ahead and try to do this by yourself, like you've been doing, or you can do it with an expert and accountability with other like-minded people doing it with you, like my client, Penny. Penny did this program, and she beat a pattern of self-destruction, of shame and guilt for always going to Chick-fil-A. She was able to start choosing when she wanted to go and when she didn't. She saved herself money. And through making herself feel better, through uncovering her digestion code, she tripled her business in a month. Clients of mine, Ryan and Rebecca, who are a couple, actually had no idea how to eat. They had no idea. They never knew what was going on in their bodies. They were very unmotivated. And through uncovering what each one of them personally needed, they understand their nutrition. They understand attainable goals. They understand themselves. And they both lost 20 pounds apiece. So here's the details. Like I said, you want to know more? You want to go further? Let's dive in. So introducing the step-by-step guide to having your cake and eating it too. Wholeness Health is a group program for professionals who know they want to have the life and the body. So what's included? Well, first of all, we do a 3-month program. In month 1, we talk about your personal plan. Again, uncovering parts of that digestion code. Week 2, we dive even further. Week 3, we set aspirations. We go over some of our generational health things that are put up in our way. We go over some of those accepted truths that actually aren't truth. And then week 4, we give time to set and integrate everything we've learned so far in month 1. In month 2, we dive even further. We get into some nutritional basics, emotional eating, some of those rules, again, we created as a child. Week 6, we talk about regulating your nervous system, how to really bring your vagus nerve on board. Week 7, we dive even deeper into the energy of food and uncovering that. And week 8, we integrate again, allowing month 2 to sink deeply inside of us. Week 3, we talk about how to rewire our brain, how to change what's happening in the relationship to food. Week 10 happens to be what our body needs. We actually start to talk about exercise here, which is something that you typically do with every other health program within week 1, but it's not helpful until you know what your body actually needs. Week 11, we do integrations. That way you know really what happened. And then week 12, we come back with celebrations and celebrate how different we are and how free we are living in our own truth. You will also get a 24/7 Facebook group accountability, online training through Kajabi with over 20 hours of nutrition training. You will also get almost bi-weekly calls. So like I said, you basically get 3 calls and a guest speaker, a personal catering with you, 1 personal 60-minute call with me will be included, and this is in month 1. So you will get that as well. But that's not all. If you invest within 48 hours after this class, you will receive bonuses. 1 is 2 additional one-to-one calls with me. So you get 1 one-to-one call with me every single month. And bonus 2, you will get a yoga session with our expert yoga instructor. So you get all of those things. But what's really going to happen is you are going to improve your generational health. Your gut issues will no longer be relevant. You will increase your sleep. You will increase your energy. You'll improve your vibration to hear more yeses. You'll have increased happiness, increased self-love, weight loss without effort, improved labs, decreased pain in your body, increased strength, increased ability to recover faster from activities that set you back. You'll finally be able to pursue that thing you've been putting off, climb the mountain like a client of mine, be able to come off arthritis medicine like another client of mine, eliminate the health issues that you were told, and increase revenue, increase health, increase longevity, increase inner peace. And my personal favorite, Finally be able to smile, laugh, and enjoy the margarita without shame, guilt, or fear of what I would have to do as punishment tomorrow. So here's what you get when you join. Just like I said, 2 group calls. Well, technically it's like 3 or 4 group calls per month, 12-week online training program, guest speaker per month, Kajabi access, Facebook group, accountability, one-to-one call with me, bonuses, of course. And the total value is technically $21,150, but we are not selling it there. We're not even selling it at half that investment or even a fourth of that investment. In fact, you're going to get everything we went over. Month 1, diving in the personal plan, personal digestion code, getting to what you need to and the bottom line to break your lies. What's happening on the inside of your body, the nervous system, the energy of food, rewiring your brain, what your body needs, and celebrating all the work you've done. Facebook group, Kajabi, speakers, calls, one-to-one personalization, the bonuses when you sign up within 48 hours, more one-to-one with me, a session with our yoga instructor, and all of the improvement to sit there and finally know you did it. And there's no more Googling and there's no more fighting. It's just you fully living in the life and the body you want without shame, guilt, or sacrifice. All of these things you will get with the bonuses for normally $2,997 or 3 investments of $1,111. But for the next 48 hours, you will get the bonuses and the rest for only $2,222 or 3 investments of $777. So to be clear, for the next 48 hours, you will get 2 bonuses and receive a discount of 26%. So all of this is included to change your life so you can finally have what it was you've been searching for. Here's how you join. You can go ahead and click this link. It will be posted here in the chat for you to grab. Or if you're like, I'm not sure, I need a little more information, please book your one-to-one call, which will also be in the chat, so you can learn how to get started right now. Again, here's Amy, fully living her life again, and Carly, a client of mine who went from constantly stressed over the scale to freely being happy in her body and healthy without issue. So if there's any questions, I'll open the mic now, but I will also hit end recording and stop recording at this current moment. And I certainly hope you all have a fit and fabulous day and that you truthfully know that you are worth everything. Bye for now.